Hey everyone, welcome back. Welcome back to our 8 p.m. Yes, the Grapevine Talk Show. We are back on, y'all. You know what? Tonight is going to be a hot topic, but you know what? We're going to warm up a little bit. Yes, and get right into it in a few. We're just waiting for the lovely Andre Lewinston to come on in. He is actually on his way. But yes, I hope you guys enjoyed our show earlier today afternoon. It was really great. We're so grateful to have you tuned in. But yes, these are the topics that, help us to get through life and to be able to, get through all these challenging times that we're going through. Just living life, the daily stuff. But here we go, y'all. So we're going to dive right into our hot topic tonight. And we're going to be talking more about some relationship stuff. Yes, some relationship talk. And, dating, relationship, there's always some hot topics to talk about that one. So we're going to get right into it. Oh, here's Andre Lewinston, the lovely minute. Let's give him a few minutes to warm up. Hi, Andre.
Hello, how are you?
Welcome back.
Yeah. Pleasure, of
We
course.
are back in. Yes. So I was, just warming up a little bit. We had a great conversation earlier, didn't we?
Oh, yes, we did. Oh, yes.
I enjoy every bit of it. Yeah. So, tonight we're going to have a pretty good conversation in regards to our relationship and dating. There's always something to say about that one because that is a broad range of stuff. So, we have some great questions and, some great talks so we could talk about that. So I'm going to dive right in and I'm going to ask you how you feel about these things. And I love your viewpoint. You be hitting it on the nail. So my number one question to you is when it comes to dating, right? When it comes to dating, how do you feel about career titles? Is it something that should be important to someone when it comes to dating, like career title? Say like, for example, like you are a businessman, a CEO, you have a certain lifestyle that you live. I wouldn't say, most businessmen, they're pretty high maintenance men, but they're like, they go for the nicer things in life. And not only that, but they're pretty classy guys, they got a certain swag, not to say they're not a little bad sometimes, but no, but you have a certain type of swag that you go when it comes to finding interest in a woman. So, for example, say you come across a female that is, she's really beautiful, foxy girl, and you're just a single guy, you have these wonderful attractions to these beautiful women all the time, but you come across this girl and her career title is more like a cashier. She is more like a waitress. She's not a businesswoman. She's not a lawyer. She's not a doctor, quote unquote. All these titles that we say are heights. Why she's not a judge or all these things, but she is just a cashier or she's just a waitress. How would you feel as a businessman, a CEO, the boss type of guy that is used to a certain lifestyle? Would you find interest and pursue a woman with that type of career title?
Well, yeah, first of all, Diane, that's really a good question and a really funny one too. But
Yes.
yeah, based on my opinion, we are not defined by status or titles, or occupations, because titles doesn't define who we truly are, as a person. And because of that, only I would say personally that I don't think title has nothing to do with, in dating someone who you desire, who you see, who you like, or you are attracted to. Whether she may be a cashier or a waitress or whatever, I don't think that should be a problem as regards for men to go to someone who they they would want to court or something.
Well, you hit some great points because some people will disagree with you on this, but you're more thinking of the positive side where you're thinking, well, you're not trying to pursue a woman based on all her looks and based on, of course, you want a woman that you're attracted to and stuff, but you're not going to be thinking so much deeply about money if you're a boss type of woman. So this is where the challenge comes in for some people, because some people will say, well, listen, I want to make a certain amount of money, and I'm on this type of income with my finance. If I'm pursuing a woman, I don't want her to be looking at me like, I'm supposed to be doing everything for her. But I mean, and at the same time, you do want a woman that's hardworking, that's a go-getter, a woman that's, tries to strive to be independent, of course, and she is willing to learn too, she's willing to adapt. But some would say, like, listen, man, like, like, suppose you have some of your guy friends and they would say to you, like, yo, man, are you crazy? Like, why would you stoop down low and go date a woman or find interest in a woman? You're going to take her on a date. She's going to probably just take all your money because she's only a cashier. You're a boss man. You used to live in a certain lifestyle, and how would you feel about, like, say, one of your, some of your guy friends, not one, but some of your guy friends saying to you that, you should be more interested in a woman that has a more higher title, like a lawyer, doctor, or a boss woman, a CEO like yourself, would you care too much about their comments? Like, would it bother you?
Well, it wouldn't really bother me to per se, Dion, because truth and in fact, we're all entitled to our own opinions, So if my friends have that opinion of, of those of persons of such kind who are working as waitress or of a lower status, that's their opinions, and they are all entitled to them. But thank God that I do have some really, really good friends. I don't think they would have said such a thing, But yeah, if they do, it's just their opinions, and their
Hmm.
mindset. Yeah.
Well, that's good that you think that way. That's wonderful to see another, one of our brothers in the African American community who is not too caught up on all the title roles. But of course, you do have, I'm sure you do have a certain type of interest and some boundaries that you would like, in your type of relationship seeking and stuff like that. So, it's interesting because, we see a lot of pressure on the black man, though, when it comes to income, money. And some men feel like, listen, because our world kind of have changed a lot. Because really, men were always the person, the head of house. Men were always the head of house. Isn't that something that have changed? They were always the main one who were responsible for providing for the woman. So, it's not really a big deal if a woman is just a cashier. She's doing something with herself. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not
Exactly.
sitting around and just totally dependent on somebody, or, I don't knock the women that have, there's some women, they're doing what they got to do to put food on their table. They have to go through very hard struggles to make income. But, hey, she's just a cashier. She's working. She's doing what she has to do, taking care of her own life. She's not living her life to please anybody, just like yourself, and even for myself, like, I think it would be different because some would say, like, Dion, you're more of a person. You would be with a person who is a boss man as well, like a businessman or a doctor and so and so. Like, would I really date somebody that's just a cashier? I wouldn't judge him, but definitely, hey, if he's gonna take care of me and he's was so supportive to me, not leaving him to do everything, but of course, I'll bring something to the table. Some men are just simple, and you're one of those simple brothers who, definitely you have high goals for yourself. Um, And if a woman has those same high goals for herself, but you have to start somewhere. And some people, they just want a simple life. Some people, they don't even want to become millionaires, to be honest with you. Some people are not seeking to have these a whole lot. They just want to be comfortable. You know, some people want to be comfortable, and they're fine with that once they're taking care of their own business and their household, wherever, and they're getting by in life. You know, so at the end of the day, money is beautiful. We all need it. um, you know, and at the end of the day, if you're seeking somebody that's more interested in you for your heart, to get to know you, for love, not just for hooking up because they want your money, you know, hey, sometimes you're better off starting out with a woman, and you could start out like with a woman that's just a cashier, and sometimes it's better for you like that. You see a lot of times in Hollywood, right? Where we see all the time where sometimes these very wealthy guys, right? Very wealthy guys, they come across, and these women, they're very beautiful as well. They have some assets there, but sometimes all they're going after the guys for is his money. That's all. And then at the end of the day, something happens like to him, they're going through the door. You know, there is not to no sickness and through sickness and death. No, it's like through sickness and money.
That's true.
Yeah, so for some people, but you share some good viewpoints on that one right there. You hit it on the nail. I had another question for you. And definitely, this is something that is big in our community today that we see happening a lot. We see happening, but people don't talk about it too much. But it's I guess it's a new thing. It's probably been out for a long time, but some people don't talk about it a lot because they have different viewpoints, and some people think of it as negative. So my question I'm going to go to is basically, so what do you think about open relationship, or open marriage?
Well, first of all, we have to look at it both ways, I think. Personally, I think it depends on the persons. If it's their choice to do such things, to have an open relationship, with other persons on the side, even if they are married, as a husband and wife, and they choose to have an open relationship with other persons,
Mm-hmm.
within their marriage. I think it's up to them. Everyone do has their own choices, in life. However, it's totally wrong. I wouldn't really agree with such things, because it can lead to, yeah, it can lead to actually a lot of dangerous factors, within the marriage. And sometimes, even though they say they agree with such things, I think personally, most of them, deep down in their hearts, they really, really wouldn't mind if they had made a different choice, and even if they don't, it's totally wrong because it is a major risk factor, in a relationship, in a marriage, especially because it can cause a lot of, you know, um, pain and anger as well in the long term because, and as well, it can also influence, the diseases and so because if you're having other partners on the side, who knows if they are using protections and so forth to prevent certain STDs, STIs, or those infections, and it's yeah, something
Yeah,
really to really think about. It can be very deadly for anyone who's involved in such relationships. Yeah.
well, you hit some good points, and I personally, though, with my viewpoint on it, I agree. What you said is, like for me, it's different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
Um, there are people that actually been in relationships and or in a long term marriage, and they have issues, and one of their thing is they still care about the person that they were like they're called their main partner. But for some reason, sometimes they have different viewpoints. They're attracted to other people, and some people they want to be, um, you know, they find it more interesting in their relationship to actually have another partner or another, let's see, another attractive person be involved. They know how to handle it. Like some people, they respect the boundaries and they know how to respect each other and they know how to handle it. If it works for them, it works for them.
Yeah, exactly.
And it also, I think too, what happened is it depends on certain people. They have a different religion. Like if a person has a religion and based on their religion, that's just how it is in some cultures. Some people, open marriage, that's just how it is. And they enjoy the best of both life, best of both worlds. I mean, best of both worlds, because, you have to be able to adjust. Some women are able to adjust to that and they're quite fine with it because they're being taken care of by their partner very respectfully, or their partner don't talk to them about it, but they know, vice versa. They're very selective with the partners that they choose to get involved with in their open marriage and relationship. So it works for some, I think it's more, we see that a lot with the older, the older age groups, because a lot of people, as they get older, sometimes they get they want to try other things, like they say, I think is it Will Smith and Jada Pinkett? I think people say that they have an open marriage for years. We heard those rumors in in Hollywood. There they go through so much, but I could just imagine. But they go through it, and you go through these trials and these tribulations within your relationship and marriage, or hey, I say to each his own. And some women respect that, and it's nothing wrong with it, but definitely you do want to be careful. It's, for example, we see, as what do you have, porn stars out there, porn stars, they have, some people are literally married and they're porn stars.
Yes, that is true.
And people would say, are you kidding me? Like, they would be like, you a porn star and you marry, like, how do you handle that? But they're used to it. As a matter of fact, they like the fact that they could kind of be attracted to other people. They enjoy their life. And
yes, and that's because they accept them for who they are. They already are, Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Once you accept the person for who they are, and you grow with them, and if that's what it is, this is how they are, and and if your needs are being met too, and their needs are being met, I guess, well, the deal is done. So I guess it is for some, but then there is some, if based on religious reasons, that's not really, that will consider a sin. That'd be considered a sin. So it wouldn't be necessarily a good idea for people, especially those who are considered Christians. But then you do have Christians there's a lot of people who are Christians, and they believe in the higher power, and they believe in all these things, but that's just one of the things that they would like to do. And they live that life too. And they quite fine. But some would say they're not really Christians because they're living like that. Who are we to judge anyway, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Well, who are we to judge?
Yeah.
That's not on us, because we got our own stuff to deal with.
That's correct.
I wouldn't judge anybody, but if you have an interesting partner that you're living with and you enjoy him and he enjoys you, or you're dating, and that's just how it is with you guys. And sometimes you're like that, to feel each other out, to see what you could tolerate, what you can't, And
Well, here, dear, and I think we have some comments here. For someone waving, and so I think you can wave back, and we can ask them if they have any inputs about the topic.
Yes, we thank you for tuning in. Guys, feel free to join in. This is a wonderful
you can join the live if you want, if you have any inputs as regards to the topic, and we will accept you.
Yes, feel free to tune in. Don't be shy, y'all, because sometimes people are shy. But don't be shy. Tune in. And definitely, if you have something to share, feel free to share it too. It's all an open platform. It's a non-judgmental zone, right, Andre? Non-judgmental
That's
zone.
correct.
You have your views, and however you feel about it, that's fine. So we have ours, and we're not here to point fingers at anybody. So it's a great platform that we could just use as a resource tool to grow and share our inputs. But definitely, this is where we keep it real. This is our little platform. We keep it real in here. You know, it's we could get a little heated in this type of environment. So, feel free to share and join in. Let's see. Her name is Shanti Claire. We see Mukadeen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chanticleer Mukadeen
Venus
and
Lips. Ooh. Um, I think
Wayne
Wayne.
and Dante.
You guys got some interesting
Names.
Instagram names. But you gotta keep it unique, Dante
Yes.
one, yes. Yeah, so definitely, so we're talking here about these relationship things, and it's pretty interesting. So I have one more question for you, because this is one that I came across, and I've heard somebody talk about this, and I was like, wow, this is pretty deep. It's one of those things that some things you just can't really comment on. It's kind of like you got to keep your mouth shut. Like you don't really know, but it makes you think. So, so my question to you is, there was a person that I know, and she asked me, and it's like, oh, that's pretty interesting. That one of her friends, was involved with someone for a couple years, and they were living together, right? And while they were living together, they enjoy their time together and stuff like that, but they would always use a condom. And in most relationships, after a couple years, that condom don't stay on. For real, most times after a couple years, you don't even keep that bad boy on at all. So, it's she said the whole entire time they've been together, like you talking about 10, 20 years that they've been together, she would tell him, or he would tell her, we'll use a condom. Now, the good thing is you are practicing safe sex, which is important, because it doesn't matter how long you know a person, right? But how do you feel about a person, if you're involved with so long, always telling you, and you know how you are when it comes to the bedroom stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, how you like it and stuff like that. And if you guys are in a monogamous relationship, and the woman is telling you, listen, I want you to use a condom all the time, and she is on birth controls and stuff like that if you're not ready to have children, but she tells you that, what would you do? Like, do you think that's an insult to you? Like, would you feel funny?
Well, personally speaking, I think it kind of depends on the situation. But I do not think it should be an issue per se, because as you said, it's a good practice, to practice safe sex and those stuff, or safe intercourse, and if she said that, it must be for a reason, Maybe we could tell, maybe she have something, and she don't really want to say per se, and to prevent me from catching it, So I think it would be a good idea, and yeah, I would use it. I would do it, because what else? What is there to be feared, in using safety protection as regards to sex and intercourse.
Right. Well, that's a good point you made there, a very strong point. And you have to see how, I guess it depends on a person sexual pattern, because there is couples out there, no matter what, they don't care once they get tested and they clean. Some people say, listen, I'm clean, you clean, listen, this got to go off. There's no, we don't need to use that. It's not something that can be cured or something like that. They don't care. And, but it raised a concern, because if a person would say that, it seems like more of some people say it's a trust issue. They would say, like, you don't trust me. You know what I'm saying? Like, they would say, you don't really trust me. Why would you want to keep, like, you clean and I'm clean? Like, are you doing something that I don't know about? Like, what's the secret here? So, you definitely hit some points. But that's it would seem like it's trust issues. But at the same time, a lot of people stay involved in long-term relationships that involves trust issues, and seriously trust issues, and they will say that that's the way they protect themselves. But at the end of the day, now the story continues now, Andre, because see, when it came to, like, with all that being said, they did she mentioned that they did have some conflicts, and they did break up, but they still wanted to be intimate at times with each other. So she lived in her own place, he lived in his own place, and there's times like on weekends and stuff, she would come by, and they will still become intimate after all that. So they still kind of have the emotions and feelings and stuff, but it's and that's so it seemed like it was trust issue, right? Because
Well,
obviously.
yes, I do believe it was trust issues, because maybe she wasn't really fully trusting him, as a partner, because maybe she think that he's having an affair outside, with other persons, and of course, I think most of the case that's the reason, and even though I'm a male, and most of the times we are the ones who are tend to become no, actually we are the ones who are actually been blamed, at some time wrongfully as well by the woman, and it's vice versa, sometimes the woman also do have an affair, and on the side, so I think it's just vice versa. We both cheat, if they feel to,
Well,
so
that's
yeah,
why the open relationship thing comes to mind, because some people that they can't.
exactly.
Some people that it's like they like to be committed, but they also like the fact that they could have a free mind, a free, open, romantic lifestyle to share their deepest romantic fantasy with other people too. And some people, they respect that. So, like you said, and some people consider cheating. But I think that's another thing, because it's so important for you to know yourself, because that's how you get to know yourself. Two people involved in a relationship, and sometimes you outgrow certain things as you get older. You know, you outgrow certain things, so you kind of just want to try other type of things. But it's important for a man, because as a man you want to know yourself, because I think like when guys um it would say cheating. But when a guy finds other women, of course, you're gonna find other beautiful women attractive anyway, even if you're married or not, or you're single or dating. You know what I mean? But if you find that you struggle with a lot of self-control, temptation, and of course, as a man, there's some women are beautiful. I'm a woman, and I'm telling you, women are some beautiful creatures, and we come in all shapes and sizes. And boy, I could just imagine, as a man, sometimes the temptations may hit you so hard, like it's like, wow, I really want a piece of that girl, like But here you go. Sometimes you're involved with this other person, like, man, I wish I could just have a, and you're trying to battle how to to balance and control your urges from not going outside, or people would say, but that's why you got to get to know yourself. If you're in a relationship, you realize, hey, you like the lifestyle, that you like a woman that don't mind being open-minded and trying other maybe romantic things. So that's what it really is. A lot of women, some women are open to try other fantasies with other people, with you too, or they just want to be all involved. But you have to know your partner, if you know how he is, and you study him, and you both like each other in that area. But hey, if I would say to a woman, if a man is, if he, that's how he is. Some men, they just like to have more than one.
Yeah, as you're saying, Dean, I actually think that in a relationship or so, if we decide to become open-minded, in the fact that like will do the stuff like within the relationship, not with other person on the side. I think that would be more of a fun or remarkable instead of having an open relationship outside with more than one persons.
Yeah, and that's why I said different folks have
Yeah,
a different mindset. So some people would rather just be all, let's say they could be all of the freak in the bedroom, right? With their
exactly.
main partner, right? And then at the end of the day, that's it. But there's some people they don't mind sharing that freakiness with other people too, and they both the same way. So who are we to judge? Hey, and some people they get the best of both worlds. They enjoy their lifestyle, but we live in a very dangerous world, like you say. So hey, I respect it. I don't knock it, but it's very beautiful when couples or do have that respect for each other, and they could allow their partner to be who they are regardless. They could be themselves, and your partner could be himself, and you could enjoy each other. There's some women that be like, oh, you have one too. There's some women like, hey, listen, you could go on a date. It's cool with me. I still love you too. Enjoy, you know. But they don't want to know about that. They don't want to hear the other guy say, hey, you doing something or you having fun with another woman. But do you think that in some cultures that's how it is? Because in some cultures, women, like I know in Africa, some parts of Africa, and even the Caribbean too, women know that a lot of the women, they could be the main girlfriend or the wife, and they definitely respect that. Hey, they know that sometimes their guy would flirt around a lot with other women, or they could be having with what they call the side chick or whatever. Some women, they just look at it like, they'd be like, whatever, because they're being treated okay.
Well, in other countries like Africa, India, Middle East, and those countries, you know, their cultures are kind of different, because it's like a norm to them to have more than one partners, especially more than one wives, and or maybe concubines or something you'd have called them back in the days. So yeah, those countries, Africa, they have their own traditions and stuff, their own cultures, to pursue and to do because it's already a norm in their country. But for instance, in the Caribbean now, like and maybe back where we're from, in Jamaica or so.
Bakayad.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
done.
Bacayara. In Jamaica or so, where we're from, you know, we tend to do it things differently. Back home or not only in Jamaica but in all the Caribbean islands, we may not have multiple marriages, but we have multiple partners, and that's the difference.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
fun. Like the women like it too. Some
Yes, that's true.
and some of the men they love it. Like they could be married and then next minute they end up with like 5, 6 kids. Like how did that happen?
So,
What your what? No, I mean things. They had another side girlfriend out there or somebody or another
yeah,
side wife. And it's like the women they respect the men because you know what, the guys take good care of them, and they have a
that's
I mean, I've always said like, I never been a side chick really. I've always been like the main person, but as I become older, if I had a partner that I'm interested in and I know that's how he is, I wouldn't bother him at all. And he treats me good, I'm gonna be fine.
it's good to know, Dian. Good to know.
Oh, I'll be fine, once I'm still glowing and stuff and he treats me good, he helps me, supports me, I support him. Hey, I don't have to because he is his own man. Like, he should know himself. I don't need I'm not his God. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be, if he has respect for me, I have respect for him, and we pretty much have these conversations and these boundaries already. And I like when a man don't gotta lie to me and be straight up front, because we both could work some things, and sometimes that's how women are too. Some women, they don't even want to be bothered with that deep commitment. Some women, they like to have the commitment, but they also just to have a partner to hang out and do fun stuff with. But some women, they're just simple, like whatever, it's what, let's make it whatever, however it flows, So that's how. Hi, hi, Nikki Cuban.
Yes. Hi, Queen Name,
Amy,
Queen Nene.
thanks for joining in. Feel free
Yeah,
to comment.
yeah.
I
Feel free to
see you.
comment, and if you do have any inputs, you can also request to be on the live, and we will accept you. And
Yes,
we
of
hear about your
course.
inputs. We hear your
Ain't
inputs.
nobody gonna share your private business. Just be. This is like public. Instagram is public, but there's some things that we could always share our thoughts anyway, and we could use it for our own advantage in a good way. So that's what we're doing here. We're having this hot topic conversation to help everyone to have some platform to share, and some open-minded thoughts, some things that sometimes you're going through or you always wanted to talk about it, but you don't really talk about it. So but yeah, so back to what we were saying, Andre. So that's the beautiful thing about relationships. They help us to learn more about ourselves, and they help us to discover who we really are as a whole person, because we have this one life to live, one life to live. And hey, some men, I'm telling you, like, I know some brothers, they have, it's a beautiful, like, some men, they just want two women. I've heard men say they just want two women. I've heard men say they just want two women, because some say that I really love this person, I have this other one, but then I really love this one too. I just, you know, they like the both. They get and some have more than that, and some have like, what is it? I heard, like, who out there? I heard this story. This guy, he have about 20. What is it? 20. You have a post on your Instagram. Who is that? Ninja Man.
Yes, Ninja Man.
He have 23 baby mothers.
Yeah,
Have 23.
over 20 kids.
Ah. So, like, he's out there. Is it a true story?
Yes, it is a true story.
I'm
It is
so
a true. And matter of fact, not only him, I think there are many artists, back in the days, in our country, they have been, you know, as Ninja Man says, he didn't make waste of his his bullets, So yeah, didn't miss a shot. He didn't miss a shot. He didn't miss a shot at all.
that's just how it is, especially in our culture there. Oh wow.
Yeah.
We're some hot people, we're some hot people in our culture there. All them Guinness that they be drinking up, please. But even in Africa too, that's why I said in some, it has a lot to do with religion too, because in some religions, like say if you're Muslim, or that's just how it is in the Muslim religion. They have more than one, two wives. They have so many children, and they look at it as actually a wonderful thing. So, it's it's one of those things that, wow. But like I said, women are beautiful. We come in all shapes and sizes, so I could just understand what you brothers go through sometimes.
All shapes and sizes and color too.
And all shapes and sizes and color too, I'm telling you. And the funny thing is, as women, we feel that way about men too, but we're a little bit more secretive. We don't really go around like you guys would say. You would see a woman on the street and you probably would say to her like, man, can I talk to you for a second? Like, you are fine. And woman would see a guy and more likely not want to do that, because she probably like said, he looks good, but she won't probably take the steps to do that as much as you guys. But definitely, especially if he's like a businessman, he got on his suit and he looks all GQ and everything. Some women, they're not gonna say nothing, even though. But you men, y'all go after it. you guys are hunters.
Yeah.
Some hunt for good and some hunt for bad.
That's true.
And listen, The good, listen, the more love, the better. You know, at least you're not gonna bat up the girl. And I'm gonna let my Jamaican accent come out, you know, because sometimes it sounds more sexier, you know. Nah, but definitely all jokes aside, but it's good to know what you want in life, and especially like when you're in your 20s, like 20s, yeah, 30s, it's good to know exactly what you want in a partner and go after what you like, because at the end of the day, it's not about other people's viewpoints. But some
You
people
know,
feel like they
Diana,
have to get their family standards too.
yeah, Diana, I think since week, recently I saw a post somewhere on social media, and the person posted, you know, what's better than sex? What's better than sex? So I asked the questions to you. What do you think is better than sex?
Well, a lot of things.
Okay.
Money, money.
Oh, and to the end, I think
Listen, it's
many persons who replied to that post, um, they first comment they made is that money. Money. The first comment they made. Yeah. So okay, what's another input that you think is much better?
well for me. Like I was saying, but money is not everything. All jokes aside, money isn't everything. But I definitely family. You know, family is very it's another thing. Having your family support and stuff like that. It brings a lot of happiness to you. Um, Food.
Yeah, and I know you love your food so much
Listen,
already.
food sweet, but yeah, food is definitely good. Um, wow, it's a lot of things, and there's a lot of things you could do with your own self. Like you could enjoy yourself, Um, music, music is also you get the best out of music. Friends. You don't have to have a whole crew of them, but you have, some associates that you like to talk to and stuff like that. Which is also great. And some of us have a spiritual life. You can have a very deep spiritual life that helps to keep you humble and keep you leveled out. So, some they don't have spiritual life, and that's fine too. Some people get enjoyment in yoga, or they do other things that is mellowing. Some people might burn ganja.
That's true. Yeah.
Especially in the Caribbean countries, some people, that's the cannabis world. That the cannabis world, you know, it brings a lot of mental healing to a lot of people. So I'm not to judge. Back in the days, we look at it like, it's drugs, but it's also a herbal medicine that a lot of people use to keep themselves very happy. It could be the end of the world and they don't even care. And you see a lot of doctors as well using it. A lot of people in law enforcement. There's all types of career titles. It doesn't even matter. Pastors too. They're taking their herbal medication and it works for them. But, they find enjoyment and also motivating people, being an influencer to other people. If you're a parent, you enjoy having your children, so that's also great. And just to be alive, and to take every day as another opportunity to know that, hey, I have another second chance here, or another second of life to say, hey, I could work on another goal that I always wanted to accomplish, or to better yourself in something, even if everybody not seeing it. You just know that you're doing what's best for you.
Exactly. And to I think I would sum it up, what would be more better than sex, or sexual intercourse. I do believe that love conquers all. Love conquers all, So I do believe that love would be much better, because sexual pleasure, is just a pleasure, Sex is just a pleasure. So, and secondly, I would say money, you know. because money can also buy pleasure. Money can buy anything. You can buy pleasure. You can buy anything, in the world. So love is the first of all, the first thing, first and foremost aspect that is better than sex. And then, after you have the love, you have the money, to back it up. Because money can give pleasure. It can do anything, that you would desire in your heart or so.
That's right. And
Yeah,
that's why, and to add to add to what you're saying, so basically self-love is a beautiful thing, you know?
exactly. Yeah,
So self-love is a beautiful thing, and it shows, like, you could tell that I love myself regardless of whatever. Self-love glows on you. you know, when you're taking a shower, you know that, listen, I am beautiful either way. I feel happy about who I am. When you are actually, putting on your clothes, getting ready, everything that you're doing for you, like, you're into you. So it really doesn't matter if you're not intimately involved with being with someone um for sexual pleasure, or just to be a hookup, and they're here and there. But it's also great to, hey, there's some people that they have self-love, but they have their sexual pleasure too. Some people, they do on the side here and there, and they still get the best of both worlds. But some people, they're also monogamous to themselves for years, and enjoyment. You get a lot of enjoyment. You could get a lot of happiness taking care of yourself.
yeah. Tuning, there are a lot of persons joining now. I think we should uh, have Deputy Breezy
Everyone.
official.
Hi, Aaron. Hi, Aaron
You
Farrell.
have Aaron Farrell there,
Anna.
and you
Okay.
have
D.
Rosanna.
Let's see. D. Was it Breezy official? Excuse my pronunciation. Yes, it's
So welcome, guys. If you do have any inputs as regards to the topic that we have now, um, if you just join in, we can also reintroduce the topic or the headline that we have. And if you do have your point of view, we can put you on the live and you give your point or your inputs as regards to the topic, and we will, give our own opinions as it regards to your views.
Yeah, so feel free. So definitely, Andre. So like you were saying, in regards to, you're a pretty stable, well-rounded young man. You pretty much know what you want when it comes to finding interest in a woman. And that first question I asked you was, at least that, hey, you're not too caught up on titles. You love money, but you are not a gold digger man. Like, of course you want it, you want to be successful, but you're not looking, because there are some men that just look for women that they just want to take money from them. And that's a new thing. That's a new world that we live in nowadays too.
As a
that you
stake for
see
take.
that you see some men, they go after the woman, and they go online, they go on a lot of online dating apps, they go out there and they try to find women, wealthy women sometimes, and they try to exchange sex for sex for heavy money, and sometimes it's tempting because a lot of women, they're doing what they got to do, and hey, some women, they use it as a job. But you know there is some men that, and there's some women, they don't mind giving it away either. So, but that's something that everyone have their different views on, which is fine. And we are in, we have no judgment towards that. So definitely, I'm glad that we discussed this conversation. It was very interesting, and you shared some great points. We hit it on the nail with some stuff, because I tell you, I know you, as an African American man, you could come across some very tempting moments in your life, right?
I guess we all do, of course.
You think I do?
Of course.
I know some women have this. To be honest with you, that if I had, there's some women, they have that as a career. and their career is they have multiple streams of men, and that's their job. And and a lot of it we see online, but hey, to each his own, right? Who are we to judge?
Yeah. Who are we to judge?
Who are we to judge? It's just all about, the more love the better. So everybody do what they have to do to take care. You never know what some people are going through in life, why they have to do certain careers too, because some people have really been through a lot, and sometimes they just can't. There's some people that just can't take on a more demanding career title because it will put too much pressure on their bodies or mind, maybe because of a certain lifestyle or certain situations that they're in. So I'm glad that you are one of those guys that you discuss, that you do not look down on a woman, or you feel that, you have to judge her based on her career. So because of that, like if she's a career, you wouldn't want to pursue her. Now, this brings it up, and this is my last question to you, just to be funny. But, so like, for example, you're dating a woman and she says to you, and, you've been dating her for a while. And, you make pretty decent money, but at the same time, you know, she has high maintenance, and she a high maintenance woman, high maintenance, and say one day you went out and you was just around town, and, and someone, you picked some flowers, some nice, beautiful roses, beautiful flowers from outside. And you say, I'm going to bring home to my lady, and, just show her, or show, my girlfriend that, you just saving the flowers for her, and you gonna give her the flowers that you picked off the street somewhere. Not to say that you stole the flowers, but maybe someone gave it to you, and you gave it to her, and she said to you, that, wow, these are beautiful, I really appreciate it. Where did you get these, honey? And you said to her, oh, I'm glad that you love these flowers. Actually, I picked them off a tree. And she said to you, oh my God, you picked them off a tree? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't have the audacity to just go buy it. Like, you could spend some money and like buy the flowers. Like, why you have to pick it up? You're so cheap. Would you find that as an insult for a woman to call you like cheap because you picked the flowers off the tree? How would you feel about that?
Well, there's always two sides to the story. Yes, of course, maybe I would be offended in some way or somewhat, but because due to the fact that, I thought that it would have been a nice way of showing, all my love to her or something like that. But yeah, because normally when you look into it, if, for instance, if you go and buy a bouquet of flowers at the supermarket or at a flower store or flower shop, sometimes most of them, they are not really real flowers. Most of them, they are artificial. So even though they may last a little bit longer as artificial, because they won't dry up like a real flowers. I think a real flowers is much more better, because they could at least put it in a vase or something, to beautify the place or the area or something. But yeah, I wouldn't really take it that much to heart, but I think it would have been somehow or somewhat, it would have made me be offended in some way. So yeah,
Right. Well, boy, I tell you, for me, I wouldn't find it as a big deal. But some women will definitely insult a man for that. Like, really? But I would think that the fact that you did it out of your heart, um, and you thought about me to even get the flowers. It's just for the moment, and at the end of the day, the flowers ain't gonna last long anyway.
exactly.
It's not going to last long anyway. So, why would I make a big deal about it? And, I would say, oh, wow, this is beautiful. I appreciate it, and, definitely would exchange my gratitude to you and appreciation. But I would not try to insult. I would never try to insult a guy just because of he didn't spend a couple dollars on buying me some flowers. It's still beautiful. So it's not a big deal, because at the end of the day, the money gonna go anyway. No matter for the rich, the poor, and the average. So we enjoy the simple things in life and make the best of it.
And today, I think there's a song you know, that goes like that. I think it's from artist, one of my favorite artists, you know, back home, Tyrus Riley. He made a song that the simple things are our blessings, you know. Yeah,
Oh
simple.
yeah, Tyrus Riley.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful song, beautiful words too.
Right. Yes, yes, yes. That's exactly what it is. Just make it, and that's how it should be. We don't have to always make a big deal out of everything. So definitely, while we enjoy this conversation, well, everyone, we are wrapping up this wonderful conversation we had tonight. We hope that you enjoyed our real talk. I definitely enjoyed it. Andre, you always hit the nail. You are so super fly. You Mr. GQ man. But definitely enjoy our conversation. Well, everyone, we're going to tune out now, and we're going to probably see you guys another time. But we thank you for joining in. Andre,
Actually, tune in for Saturdays.
You
Yeah.
have any last words you want to say to the beautiful people out there?
Well, you know, do you and be you. You know, just have to be yourselves.
Right. That's right. That's right. Well, bye, everyone. We thank you for joining in. Thank you for joining in. And we
Yeah,
love
thank
you so
you.
much. We appreciate you. Bye. Bye, Andre.
Bye.